Well, I just watched season 2 of Close Enough, and I have to say it was pretty dang good. I really enjoyed it this time around, and I think it stepped it up a good deal from season 1. However, I do have 2 problems with the show, and we'll get to those in just a second. First off, we need to start with positives. We gotta bring up positivity first before we start giving some constructive criticism. Positivity would feature just about everything about this show except for those 2 things, which is the art style, the voice acting, the storytelling, how surreal and crazy things get. It's just an overall fun show. If you liked regular show, you will like Close Enough. It's made by J.G. Quintel, the same creator, so you get the same kind of character development, the same kind of jokes, editing, animation, explosions, weird stuff that he put in the regular show where things got really surreal and crazy, and the characters just treated it like it was everyday life and they had to solve the issue even though it was getting insanely dangerous. It's fantastic. It's really fun to watch. I like this show when it's doing that. However, I don't like this show when it's doing 2 things specifically. The first being adult comedy. Because this show is not on Cartoon Network like regular show was. They're allowed to say things like dick. They're allowed to, get a little bit more lewd and crude and raunchy with things. And sometimes it's just not funny because it's way too on the nose. Sometimes they pull it off, but sometimes they don't. It's about a 50-50 split with some of the adult humor in this show. Some dick jokes, some masturbation jokes, stuff like that. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it's a little bit subtle. But most of the time it's just way too on the nose, I would say. Like I said, 50-50 split. I might be getting a little bit too hard on it in that vein. But the next issue is an issue I have with a lot of adult animated shows where the writers are disconnected from the youth and they're just making observations about how young people act and are treating it like that's the joke. Specifically stuff with phones, apps on your phone, drones, that sort of thing. Technology in general. Because isn't technology crazy? I didn't have technology when I was a kid. I had sticks and rocks and hitting rocks with sticks. That was my childhood. You guys have phones now. That style of humor has never worked with me. I never found it funny. I think they're really easy jokes to make, and even then they're not funny jokes to make. So I don't know why shows keep doing it. I do really think it's just a disconnect of writers getting older in the industry and making notes like, hey, phones are crazy, huh? Let's talk about phones, do an episode on it. There's a few episodes that focus on that. They're probably the worst episodes of the season. Sometimes it's handled kind of cleverly. Most of the time it's not. And I don't think it's very funny, and I think they do a bad job with it. But that's with most adult animated shows, and it doesn't overbear in this show. It doesn't overstep its grounds. The show is still very focused and can be very funny and have a lot of fun stuff to watch. It's not as developed as something like regular show, but again, it's only in its 2nd season and it's only had 16 episodes. Split in 2, I guess you could double that in terms of episodes, but still 22 minutes. I'm gonna count that as just 1 episode. Nonetheless, it's a fun show. I think it's definitely worth watching, despite the 2 issues I have with it that are really just pretty subjective. I feel like a lot of people could get into this show and really enjoy it. If you haven't seen regular show, this is a fine show to jump into, even if you haven't seen that. There's no connection or anything. It's just that style of comedy and animation. I really enjoyed Close Enough. If I had to give it a score out of 10, 8 out of 10. No problem for season 2 of Close Enough. You can lump that in with season 1 as well, because I didn't talk about season 1 on this channel. So season 1 and 2 of Close Enough both get 8 out of 10s from Mr. Cow. That'll do for me. I believe the show's already set up for a 3rd season. I'm excited to see what they do with that. Hopefully they'll step up the character development a little bit, move away from these outdated fellow kids type jokes, and maybe be a little bit more subtle with the adult comedy. But overall, definitely worth watching. You can check it out on HBO Max. And that's about it. I'll see you all next time. If you have any thoughts of stuff I should review on the channel, do a quick history on, I'll have, first of all, a quick history linked at the end of this video. If you want to hear about a show's history like The Critic, Mission Hill, or Clone High, you can check all of those out. But if you have a show you want me to check out, or if you have some thoughts on Close Enough, I read every comment on this channel, so don't be shy. Yours will not be overlooked. And I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.